What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm the regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. %90% of those who have hypertension can normalize their BP over a reasonable length of time, and they can be off their medications for good and maintain their BP for the rest of their lives just using diet, lifestyle, and faith in God. There are three scenarios that a person's blood pressure can assume. The blood pressure can be too high, or too low, or normal. Those are the three scenarios. If a person's blood pressure is too high, that is called hypertension. If a person's blood pressure is too low, that's called hypotension. If a person's blood pressure is normal, that's called normotension. So you can either have hypertension, hypotension, or normotension. Because when it is too high, there are implications, and it can lead to complications. When it is too low as well, it also has its own implications and can lead to complications. When a person's blood pressure is measured, there are usually two figures. There is an upper figure and a lower figure. The upper figure is called the systolic pressure. The lower figure is called the diastolic pressure.
Normal blood pressure is actually the pressure the heart uses in pumping the blood. Basically, it's reviewed over time by the WHO, World Health Organization. Before now, it was said to be blood pressure of 90/60 up to 140/90 was said to be normal. But a few years ago, it was reviewed. Presently, the normal blood pressure is said to be 90/60 up to 120/80. Some will give a flexibility of 135/85 as normal range. So whatever is above that, that's 140/90 and above is hypertension. 90/60 and below is hypotension. Both cases are not good. So the range is what I gave as 90/60 over 135/85. That's the normal range of blood pressure.
A person's blood pressure can be 110/70 or 120/80. The 120 is the systolic pressure and the 80 is the diastolic pressure. So what is systolic pressure? The heart pumps blood. Boo, ba, boo, ba, boo, ba. Now when the heart pushes blood out of the heart into the blood vessel, push, the blood will rush from the heart into the blood vessel and exert a pressure on the wall of the blood vessel. That's the highest level of pressure. That's the systolic pressure. Then when the heart relaxes, the pressure reduces to its lowest level. That is diastolic. So systolic is the highest pressure and diastolic is the lowest pressure. And usually a person's blood pressure, you take both the highest and the lowest, the systolic and the diastolic, and you make it 120/80 or 175/115 or something of that nature. Now, the systolic pressure, like I said, is supposed to be below 140 ordinarily for a healthy person. At the very most, sometimes when one is under some kind of serious pressure, it shouldn't go above 160. If it goes above 160 or the diastolic goes above 90, then there's a serious problem. They have even, in fact, recently lowered the systolic from 140 to 130, even though I believe that depending on the person's age, if you can maintain your systolic below 140 and your diastolic below 90, then you are in good shape.
However, there are some very special kind of hypertension that can be referred to as isolated systolic hypertension. In that case, you have only the systolic blood pressure is high, while the diastolic is normal, or the reverse can also be the case. So when that happens, it has to be treated as well. Yes, there are actually some factors that contribute or risk factors that predisposes an individual to an increase in blood pressure. And some of these factors include overweight or obesity, smoking, a risk factor, alcohol intake, lack of exercise is also another risk factor, or sedentary lifestyle. So other risk factors too can also be the black race. It is said that those that are black are more predisposed to developing hypertension in the long run than not. And then age. As you advance in age above 65 is a risk factor for development of hypertension. Age. Then high salt intake. If you're in the habit of taking a lot of salt, it predisposes to the development of high blood pressure. So high salt intake is also a risk factor for development of high blood pressure.
Some people develop hypertension because of psychological or emotional challenges, problems, issues that they are facing in their lives that is making them to be worried or to be afraid for the future. Okay? Those are psycho-emotional factors. Some have marital problems, some have business problems, financial problems, academic problems, ministry problems, all kinds of challenges of life can shoot up somebody's BP if they don't address those problems adequately and appropriately. The third group of factors are nutritional factors. That relates to your diet, what you eat and what you don't eat, what you drink and what you don't drink, and so on and so forth. If you correct your diet there and balance your nutritional factors, your vitamins, your minerals, and your macronutrients, and there is no deficiency, there is no excess, there is no toxicity, there is none of those things, then your BP and various other numbers can be normalized. So I call those nutritional factors that can contribute to the development of hypertension. The fourth factor, predisposing factor, is the integrity of your blood. What is the integrity of your blood? Is your blood too thick or your blood too thin? Is the amount of insulin in your blood too high? The amount of iron in your blood too high? The amount of cholesterol in your blood too high? What is your lipid profile? What is the amount of triglycerides in your blood? All of those things, the constituents of your blood, the amount of platelets, the amount of your PCV, the amount of hemoglobin, the amount of clotting factors, vitamin K, fibrin, and so on and so forth. All the constituents of your blood must be in the right proportion. If anything is out of whack, that can set the stage for the development of hypertension or cardiovascular diseases, and indeed other diseases as well. That is number 4, the integrity of your blood. Number 5, predisposing factor, has got to do with the integrity of your blood vessels. You will not find all these things I'm cataloging in any textbook to the best of my knowledge. Like I told you, it was by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit that I cataloged them. The integrity of your blood vessels. What is the quality, the integrity of your blood vessels? Are your blood vessels still retaining their elasticity? Can they dilate and constrict? Are they fragile or strong enough? Is there plaque deposit in your blood vessels? Is there atherosclerosis? Is your aorta the way it should be or it has unfolded? Your blood vessels, the integrity, it matters. That is another factor that can predict your cardiovascular health. Now, number 6, has to do with toxicity, your internal cleanliness. How clean is your inside, or how dirty is your inside? That is a factor that can influence your blood pressure, your cardiovascular health, and in fact, any other disease for that matter. So the sixth predisposing factor to cardiovascular diseases has to do with your internal cleanliness. Number 7 predisposing factor has to do with your cardio-musculoskeletal condition. Cardio, the condition of your heart; musculo, the condition of your muscles; and skeletal, the condition of your bones, your anatomy as it were. How fit, how strong, how healthy are your muscles, how healthy are your bones, your bone marrow producing your blood, how healthy is your heart itself, okay? That is cardio-musculoskeletal condition. And number 8 group of predisposing factor has to do with your genetics, your genes that you inherited from your parents, your race, whether you are Caucasian or you are a person of color, and then your gender, whether you are male or female. All of these factors, I group them under other factors, the 8th group of factors that can influence your cardiovascular health. Okay? These are the 8 predisposing factors that help to determine your cardiovascular health in particular and your general health in general.
High blood pressure really can lead to a lot of things generally, one of which is the fact that there can be comorbid condition, can lead to other conditions. Take for instance, over time we've discovered that a lot of patients that have hypertension tend to develop diabetics with time. And that could be because of the fact that there are vessels within the pancreas that produces insulin. When the blood pressure gets so high, some of those vessels can easily rupture. And once it ruptures, it compromises the ability of the body to produce insulin. And when that happens, insulin regulation in the body will be compromised.
One is thyroid dysfunction. The thyroid is a small gland at the base of the neck, somewhere here. It's like a butterfly. It has a wing on this side, a wing on this side, and it's connected in the middle here. If there is thyroid dysfunction, many things in our physiology can be upset. Many things about the way our body functions can be upset. It can affect our metabolism if there's thyroid disorder. It can affect our weight gain or weight loss. It can affect even the regulation of our body temperature. It can affect even fertility. It can affect even our eyes and our vision. It can affect virtually every system in the body when there is thyroid dysfunction. And that is one of the things that can make blood pressure to go up. Another thing that can lead to hypertension is kidney impairment. When the kidneys are malfunctioning or there is a dysfunction in the kidney, when there is any damage to the kidney, that will affect your BP. When kidney impairment takes place, normally blood pressure goes up, and then blood level goes down. So PCV goes down, BP goes up, creatinine and urea will go up when there is kidney impairment. So kidney disease can lead to hypertension.
That factor is in the brain, could be stroke. Once the blood pressure gets so high, vessels in the brain can rupture. Once they rupture, the patient bleed into the brain. And when that happens, that's a stroke. Then there can be heart failure. The heart itself can fail. A heart that's supposed to have a particular range of pressure now gets so high. The muscle of the heart can enlarge. Once it enlarges, with time, the heart begins to fail because the heart is not able to pump enough blood to go around your body. So the heart itself can fail. And that can lead to, heart failure, congestive heart failure, as the case may be.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online Healthy Living Training Program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online Healthy Living Training Program today.
High blood pressure said to be, the danger in it is that it's described as a silent killer, because in a reasonable number of people, they don't even know. The first time they know is when they are in stroke, when there's already a damage to their brain, when the kidney is already damaged. That's when they know that they have high blood pressure. Some is when their sugar gets so high, you are not trying to investigate what's causing this patient to develop diabetes. You discover that he has hypertension as well. That could have been what have damaged the small intrinsic vessels in the pancreas. So basically, it is said that, however, few other people are also lucky. They have some symptoms. Take, for instance, someone can have persistent headache. He just start having headache, continuous persistent headache. That is a case of a patient that needs to go to the hospital. Once they visit the hospital, they will check. And if the blood pressure is high, he will know. Because we said is the pressure. So once the pressure going through the brain gets so high, the body gives a feedback, and that could be in form of headache. Once it's headache and it's persistent, it's not the headache that you take paracetamol, you stop, it continue. You need to see a doctor. Then it could be chest pain. The heart is in the chest. So when the pressure gets so high, sometimes the heart will respond by way of the pain receptors will pick it, and then you have chest pain. So once the person starts having chest pain, and then angina, continuous chest pain, persons are having vaginal pain. So that can be an indication that there's a problem somewhere. Some could be vomiting. Some could be nausea. They'll be nauseated. So those are some of the symptoms people can have. And some, their feet will just be swollen because the body is not able to regulate the water level as it used to. So once they sit down, their leg is swollen and all of that. So that's almost at the end stage when you know that the heart itself is already failing.
There are three particular minerals that are important to your hypertension, or your blood pressure rather. Number one is sodium. Number two is potassium. Okay, very important. Sodium, potassium. And then number three, magnesium. Sometimes calcium could be a fourth one. Okay, these are minerals that help to regulate your body's physiology and biochemistry and helps you to maintain what we call homeostasis or balance within your system. For example, when there is sodium-potassium imbalance, due to the kind of diet you are following, that can give you hypertension. If you have too little potassium, too much sodium, that can throw your BP off balance. Sodium, potassium, balancing, very important. And then magnesium, calcium also. You know, magnesium is a relaxant, as it were. It's also a bronchodilator for those who have respiratory issues like asthma and what have you. But we are not dealing with that today. We are dealing with blood pressure. So magnesium is very good for heart health. It's the mineral that your heart needs a lot to relax the muscle of the heart so that the muscle of the heart is not tensed up. Magnesium. And you get magnesium from any green vegetable. In fact, magnesium is what makes chlorophyll green. Chlorophyll is green in color because at the center of the chemical structure of chlorophyll, you have an atom of magnesium. And what makes your blood red is iron, because at the center of your hemoglobin, you have an atom of iron. So if you take chlorophyll, for example, in plants, and you knock off the magnesium at the center and replace it with iron, you have converted that chlorophyll to hemoglobin. So chlorophyll is like plant blood, more or less. Now, Chlorophyll is rich in magnesium. So when you eat green leafy vegetables in your salad, in your vegetable juices, and what have you, you are getting a lot of magnesium, and that will help your cardiovascular health. Calcium also helps your muscles. Potassium and sodium, they are the electrolytes that regulate a number of factors in your body, including your blood pressure. So when you eat food that is high in salt, you eat salted food all the time, breakfast cooked food, lunch cooked food, supper cooked food, and each one is salted, then you'll be getting too much sodium chloride into your body. That will elevate your sodium level. If you are not compensating by eating fresh fruits and raw vegetable salad to get a lot of potassium, to balance the sodium you are getting from your salt, then you have low potassium and high sodium. So you see how that balancing is important. So those who eat cooked food in the morning, no raw food at all. Cooked food in the afternoon, no raw food at all. Cooked food in the evening, no raw food at all. And they put salt into every of those cooked food, they are going to likely throw their sodium-potassium balance out of order. And that will set the stage for hypertension. Because the moment you have too much sodium in your body begins to retain a lot of water to dilute the too much sodium, and that makes a lot of turgidity to take place, and that is how BP also goes up. That's why one of the medications they use in treating hypertension is called a diuretic, to help you flush out that excess water that your body is retaining. So instead of building up the water and then using Moduretic or any similar drug to flush it out, why not balance your diet and make sure that you are getting adequate amounts of potassium as well as sodium into your system, and that helps you at the end of the day to be able to maintain balance so your body does not retain excess water. So that's why eating raw food is as important as eating cooked food. In fact, my suggestion is that in your diet, your raw food should constitute at least 50% of your diet, nothing less than 50%. In fact, you can eat raw food 70%, cooked food 30%, or raw food 60%, cooked food 40%. Now, how do you eat your food raw? Smoothies, vegetable juices, raw nuts, vegetable salad. They are all raw. And then your cooked food, you can eat your cooked yam, cooked rice, cooked beans, cooked whatever. Okay? That's how to create the balance. I'm going to be giving you examples of some supplements that you may want to take that can support your cardiovascular health, particularly your blood pressure. Again, I am not prescribing for you. I'm just giving educational information to enlighten you, and you need to work with your healthcare provider to know which one of them may be suitable for you. Obviously, you can't begin to, buy and consume all the things that I'm listing out here for you. There will be too much. You need to select which one, and your professional will guide you for that. But if there are 4 topmost of these supplements for cardiovascular health, particularly for hypertension, or indeed any other cardiovascular challenge, there are 4 topmost nutrients or supplements that I will recommend. Number 1 is coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10. CoQ10. That's number 1. Number 2 is L-carnitine. It's an amino acid. L-carnitine, a kind of protein. And then number 3 is magnesium. I mentioned magnesium the other time. And number 4 is a kind of carbohydrate. It's called D-ribose. D-ribose. Now, carbohydrates, normally for those who are a little bit chemistry oriented, it's like C6H12O6. That's the chemical formula for carbohydrates. C6H12O6. But for D-ribose, it's a variant of carbohydrate. It is C5H12O6, less 1 atom of carbon in its complex. It's called D-ribose. Now, the carbohydrate we all eat, the body converts part of it to D-ribose to feed the heart, because the heart utilizes D-ribose, a carbohydrate in the form of D-ribose, to energize itself. And then you have others outside of this, like DHEA, like vitamin K2, like herbs and vegetables like hawthorn berries. Berries are also very good, particularly hawthorn berries. And then beetroot is a very wonderful vegetable that is rich in betaine, rich in iron, and it's a blood cleanser. It also boosts the production of nitric oxide that can help to relax your blood vessels to make your blood pressure to come down. The hibiscus flower tea is also very good in normalizing BP. just drink it as tea. It's in tea bags, and you drink it as tea. Green tea is also very good. Then berberine is also very good. It helps to also sharpen insulin sensitivity for those who are diabetic. Then arginine is another amino acid that also helps to improve microcirculation in the body. Then omega-3 oil like fish oil, flaxseed oil, udo's oil, cod liver oil, krill oil, hemp seed oil, all of these are omega-3 oils. They're also very good. Then in terms of vitamins, vitamin E is good, but it's better to get it from your food because there are 8 different, components of vitamin E. When you buy them in supplement form, you probably get 1 or 2 in the supplement form. But when you take it from food like almond seeds, for example, almond nuts rather, you get the full 8 complement present. And that helps you to get the right type of vitamin E rather. Then vitamin C is also very good to help in strengthening your blood vessels in particular, because it helps you to build collagen at the end of the day. Then garlic, and then cayenne pepper. These ones are blood thinners that also help cardiovascular health. Then oregano and cinnamon. These are also very, very important. So if you ask me to suggest a menu or a timetable or how to eat to improve your cardiovascular health and balance your BP, I would say for your breakfast, eat 100% raw food. Either take vegetable juices like 8 ounces of vegetable juice, a mixture of carrot juice plus greens, or beetroot juice plus green vegetable juices like celery, like kale and what have you. Drink 8 ounces 2 hourly, maybe 1 glass at 7 a.m., 1 at 9 a.m., 1 at 11 a.m., and that's your breakfast. Maybe you do that on day 1. On day 2, you can use smoothie. You can blend avocado pear with banana, with coconut milk or almond milk, and add a little garlic, a little ginger, a little cinnamon to spice them, and that will be your breakfast smoothie. Or you take fruit salad. Those are options for breakfast. Or you take soaked oats. You can soak your oats in coconut milk and add some chia seed, add a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of honey, or if you're diabetic, you can add a little bit of stevia to sweeten it. And that's raw soaked oats. That's a breakfast that is very good for you. Then for your lunch, you eat 50% of your lunch as vegetable salad. And then the other 50% as your favorite cooked food. That's your biggest meal of the day. Then for your supper, you eat, if you're obese, eat only vegetable salad for supper. No cooked food until you achieve your normal weight. Then you can start eating like 60 to 70% of your supper as vegetable salad, and then 30 to 40% as cooked food. And make sure you eat your breakfast between 7 and 9, and then maybe your mid-morning snack around 10, 11, and then your lunch between 12 and 2 p.m. and your supper between 5 and 7 p.m. Never eat late if you want to normalize your blood pressure. That is very, very important.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.